That was horrible. We didn't discuss beforehand which one of us was going to start talking first. Because, like, sometimes we're like, ooh, I got an idea. Or, ooh, I got an idea. This time we didn't talk about it.
No, we just threw ourselves within there.
Okay, so 5-second pinch. Pinch?
It's 5-second pinch? That's
Ooh.
a long pinch.
Yeah, but, like, by second 3, you're numb. So 4 and 5 are...
4 and 5 are
actually quite
null and
pleasant.
void.
See, try it.
See,
1, 2, 3, 4,
okay.
5.
4 and 5 are nothing. So you're saying a 5-second pinch is no different than a 10-second pinch?
Oh, no, I lied. That was awful. All 5 seconds were terrible.
So, Derek, tell me, what do you think makes you the proper candidate to be this year's That Was Horrible Prom Queen?
I see what you're doing. Okay, is this your 5-second pitch?
This is your 5-second pitch for yourself.
Oh, okay.
I guess, yeah.
I was trying to
that was my
attach our
pitch.
bits together.
What's your 5-second pinch?
Well, that idea is just too good. We'll just go with that cold open. All right. So my ideal world in school is all of the jocks and all of the nerds become boyfriend and girlfriend and girlfriend.
Just
no boyfriend and girlfriend though,
forcibly
because
paired
it's
with each
June,
other.
so it has to be. So, and I think that for the greater good of society, you've got to keep everybody in love all the time.
All love all the time is what you're proposing.
So this
for
is
our
my
school.
pitch as prom queen. And I understand that as prom queen, you can't make these kind of decisions. It's literally just like a stupid title.
Yeah,
that
I was
doesn't
curious,
matter.
curious how we were going to enforce this. We're going to get like school policing to like enforce these two children to be to these teens to love each other.
So this is a
This
little
jock
gray.
needs to kiss this nerd, shoving their faces together.
That's right, jock him off. So sorry. I apologize deeply for that joke. What about you? What's your pitch for...
My pitch, no sports, all gone. We're done with sports, down with sports.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Waste
Sports
of
bad.
time, tiring, who needs it anyway?
What
Bunch of
is-
people
what is-
sweating. That's a whole lot of fields we're not using. We're going to be farmers instead.
Oh,
yeah.
we're
gonna be
tilling.
one of those cool tilling schools, yeah.
Until when?
Until the end of time. Till the end. That's our new motto. That's our school motto.
We're the beat diggers. Tilling till the end.
Till until the end.
For those of you who do not live in Utah, there is actually a school mascot in Utah that are the beat diggers.
Is that true? I
not
thought you
even a
just
joke.
kind of came up with
No,
that
that
out of
is
nowhere.
not even a joke.
Yeah.
It's wild.
So that's my proposal and why I should be prom queen. That Was Horrible Prom Season 2025.
That was horrible prom season 2025.
is sponsored by That Was Horrible, presented
Season
by
2025.
Derek and Isaac.
Oh, because you're Derek and I'm Isaac.
No, backwards. You are
Isaac.
Derek, and I'm Isaac. What are we doing here?
Podcast.
A podcast
Because
That's
we're
right.
two white guys.
We're two white
who,
guys
on occasion, sit down in front of
who
a
have
microphone.
enough conversations with each other that like we gotta record this stuff.
We literally broke the mold, and we did something that no one else does. And we
really are like kind of on the forefront of this kind of thing. Nobody else is doing podcasts.
we were sitting around, we were watching movies. We're like, we're so funny.
Yeah.
What if we put this on the
We're
internet?
funnier than everybody else. No one sounds this good on a microphone.
Oh, it's sad because everyone does this.
Yeah, a
and
little
everyone
bit.
thinks they're alone. But, and here's the big but,
Yeah.
is that everyone doesn't do the podcast we do.
Yeah. And what does that do? What do we call that?
We call it
That
someone
was horrible.
frick.
What was yours? No, tell me. You got a new name for the podcast?
Someone's cat watched a movie.
Someone's cat watched a movie. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to
Someone's cat watched a movie.
Meow.
On this episode, we put a tabby cat in front of a lion. The lion then watched the logo of the...
Me so horny.
What?
That's always the shitty sound effect they had for like fake radio hosts.
Or the...
Boing, oing, 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 oing.
Beluga.
Auga. What else? What other sound effects we got? No.
That one's on there.
It's on there. I just hate it.
Gunshots.
So do I have your vote for prom queen or what?
Oh wow, good way back.
Good way back to the
What would a podcast about cats watching movies be?
till the end. I think it would be mostly about their mannerisms. During this scene, the kitty cat had upset tummy. Didn't like it too much.
Pooped everywhere.
Had a bad time. Pooped everywhere. It was a mess. Terrible
Cats
time.
poop.
Often, I think, probably.
Never seen it. I've seen a dog poop.
But you've never seen a cat poop.
I've never
I
seen
mean,
a cat
how many
poop.
cats are around you in your life right now?
So many.
No.
There's like 8 cats with me right
No.
now. Look at that right there. See
Derek,
that? There's a
Derek,
cat.
there's no cat there.
Meow. Hello. It's me, Mr. Cat.
And Derek's going to put on a production of Cats by himself in his stage full of imaginary cats.
Well, never was there ever.
If you were to do that and you had the cast made up of imaginary cats, who would you be in the middle of it all? Mr. Mistopheles, is that what you're saying?
Oh, well. No, I was just doing cats. I thought it would be fun to do cats. You can ask me your same question in a second, but I'm still on this train.
Yeah,
I have ADHD, if you didn't know. I thought it'd be interesting to do a Cats callback that wasn't a popular cat song.
Oh, okay. So
Like, no one talks about Gus the cat.
deep dive.
I'm Gus the cat. That's the whole song. And everyone always talks about, the Jellicle balls.
Yeah.
Or
everyone talks about
Memory.
Jellicle
The
balls.
most beautiful song in the musical. They always talk about memory.
Boo.
Why don't you talk about, oh, well, never. I hate that song.
Derek loves Cats. It's his favorite musical.
I don't mind it.
It's not terrible. It's a weird one for sure.
Emily, I can't say the word cats around her without her going, meh.
Just like that?
Yeah, but Emily doesn't sound like that. I love you so much. But she gets mad at cats.
Yeah.
The musical.
That's
I'm
fair.
going to segue away from this. What was your question?
You got my vote for Prom Queen or what?
You asked me something else about a cat.
Oh, because you had imaginary cats in your scenario. If you had a room, you're on stage, you're putting on a production of Cats with a bunch of imaginary cats, which cat are you? Like all the other cats fill all the other roles. Which one are you in this situation?
So not Cats the musical.
I mean, yeah, Cats the musical.
Cats the musical.
Which cat are you
Oh, okay. I'm that
on
one.
the stage?
I'm the okay. I very
Or
specific.
maybe you write a new character.
I'm in the Cats production.
Yes.
That has 48 people in it because it's a community theater production and they didn't
can't
want to
cut
turn away
anybody.
anybody.
No, of
So
course.
I'm cat number 46, who is one line of the Railway Cat song, in which he just stands there.
So that's
waits
how they
the
split it up
entire
between
show.
everyone?
Yeah,
everyone
song.
gets individual lines in the show. This is your big moment, your one line.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't even remember how the Railway Cat song sounds.
I remember there's a little bit of it that kind of sounds like a level of Mario because like dun 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 dun.
The Railway Cat is a very special cat. He dumps in pipes and he goes around the vat. He's a cat and he sings and he dances on the train. He goes and Mario's there with his brain. And he's a Railway Cat. Oh boy.
We could rewrite Cats.
Hey, Andy Weber.
I got some notes.
I got some things for you.
Andy Weber.
You know how this musical was historically a massive flop and a giant hit all at the same time?
Yeah.
Is like the longest running show ever on Broadway, but it also lost you a shit ton of money. I think I know why.
Would have been better if you had a little bit of
didn't
that.
have Mario in it.
Didn't have Mario Cat, the train cat.
You know what people have been saying for years? Mario, you know what Cats needs? More plumbers.
More plumbers.
More plumbers.
Yeah, exactly. We need to get more plumbers up in these cats.
You know what?
Can we make cats plumbers?
Maybe, yeah.
A new profession for cats?
There's
Now imagine, if you will, a Garfield as a plumber.
pretty good.
A plumbing Garfield.
all right, John. I guess I'll plunge the toilet.
No. So it's all right, John. I guess I'll go plunge the John.
OD.
Oh dear. Anyway, where were you going?
I was going to segue into the movie we watched.
Oh, right. Because, our first bit had a little more to do with the movie we watched. Then we got onto cats.
Then we got on the railway train with the
Straight
railway
on the
cat.
railway train to the railway cat,
We tap
Mario,
danced our
Garfield
way
the plumber.
all the way to Garfield the plumber, which actually does make sense.
Now let's tap dance our way all the way back to the 80s. What a time. The vibes were hot, the synth was ripe, and the babes had curly hair.
There ever magical Mr. Mistopheles.
Oh, I thought you were going to riff something 80s. I thought you were going to spin it.
Because I just sing it a little more upbeat and then like more of a...
Yeah, what's funny is I had pondered the idea of what if we do like let's set cats in the 80s, and then you're just like let's just add a more beat to it, more synth, more beats, more neon.
The Cats is from the 80s.
I know. It exists as it should be.
I'm all trying to think of a way to make it
Can't
more 80s.
reinvent the wheel.
It literally is.
But why would we be talking about the 80s? What happened in the 80s?
Because we watched a goddamn terrible movie. I mean, we just watched a movie.
We watch horrible movies. Whether or not they're terrible is, up to interpretation.
Subjective.
Truly. It's subjective. All movies are. There's
I don't
no
like
bad
to
movies.
give away how we feel about the movie this
No. Yeah.
And I didn't.
Because it usually gives itself away by how much banter and bullshit we get through before we actually talk about the movie. So the 80s. What happened in the 80s?
Well, okay, so in 1980,
yes,
the moon was approximately 3 feet from the Earth. And then in 1982, it was approximately 3,000 feet from the Earth. Then by the time 1987-ish came around, you got 1 million feet from the Earth.
Where exactly is this going?
It's not. I'm just avoiding talking about
what did this do for the werewolf population at the time?
Well, it's crazy because the Lunar Hygienics went insane.
They went nuts for this.
Then those of you who are not familiar, the Lunar Hygienics is actually a cult of werewolves. Called themselves the Lunar Hygienics because they kept turning into werewolves only in the shower.
I kind of like the idea of like a bunch of werewolves in like lab coats studying this stuff. They got like glasses and little vials of chemicals and shit.
I don't know what's going on with this one, but every time I put soap on my hand, whoa.
Yeah, so hold on. So they're werewolves only in the shower.
Yeah.
But it's not like they going to the pool is fine. It's just in the shower.
No, it's when they try to get clean.
Yeah.
That's why they're Lunar Hygienics.
So they're turning into werewolves because they're trying to get clean. Is the problem.
It's only if it's moon water. I thought that was very obvious.
Of course, I gotta figure it's moon water.
Yeah,
Derek, where do you get moon water exactly?
Oh, you don't know?
Of course.
You don't know?
It's from the moon, right?
Yeah, it's. I mean, when the moon is 3 feet from Earth, you can just kind of grab it,
scoop it up. Yeah. So whenever it rains and there's a full moon, you get moon water.
I mean, everybody's cycles are crazy.
Are we always bathing in moon water? Is that how
Every
this
day.
works? Every day is moon water.
Yeah, so that
Moon
became
minerals.
a problem.
Yeah, huge. Yeah,
because the lunar vampires were really having trouble with it, right?
Yeah.
Because they would die every time they touched the
It's like holy water, but stronger.
Yeah, they would have a really tough time.
Yeah, and it smells
so eventually
awful.
they kind of rose up,
so
and then
terrible.
the solar eclipse happened, and everything just started going up in flames. And
the solar hygienics and the lunar hygienics are at war with each other the whole time.
Which is actually why the moon moved away from the Earth.
Yeah, couldn't handle the bullying anymore, right?
This is probably one of the more wild things we've talked about.
Yeah, no, I like the thought of the cult of the lunar hygienics. That's
it's very
crazy.
Funny. It's a funny.
Everything about that sentence is absolutely batshit.
In my brain, I do imagine a bunch of werewolves in lab coats,
yes.
right? Because they have found a way to harness their power as the werewolf.
Yeah.
So they can stay in it as long as they want.
Yeah,
All they have to do is reapply lunar water every few hours.
It's like a lotion, basically.
Yeah.
They just apply it to themselves.
But sometimes they go to
sunscreen.
sleep and they forget, and then they wake up, but they wash their hands and they look in the mirror and like, God damn it, I'm a human again. Look down, their paws are all. Well, this is actually kind of cool.
Can you imagine there's like a husband and wife of the Lunar Hygienics, and like one of them forgets to put on their nightly moon cream, and they wake up in the morning, turn over, and they see their husband, and he's a human. But what if he's like really ugly as a human?
Yeah, he's like,
and then he turns back into a werewolf. He can't really tell, but it's like, am I attracted to my husband still? He's kind of an ugly human.
It derived from a group of furries that took it a little too far. They're like, they can't afford a fursuit, but they can afford lunar water.
Yeah, something about that fursuit, very expensive. Lunar water, pretty cheap.
And I imagine, like,
easy to come by.
They have this huge, like, maybe like a steampunk thing where it's just this big basin of water.
Yeah.
And it has a big magnifying glass that magnifies the moon into the water.
I imagine there's like steam, like
there's
vapors
steam
coming off of it.
And there's like a little dripper that comes off of it, goes through like a million of those little tubes.
Yeah, little zoo.
And you can tell when it's lunar water because it's like glowing like an iridescent blue.
Yeah,
you know?
that's moon water.
That's moon water,
sure.
baby. That's the lunar water.
That's the lunar water.
And then, there's like a big headquarters, kind of looks like the Scientology building.
Yeah.
That's like a
I have to imagine they're
of
all
Lunar Hygienics.
Yes, I have to imagine they're all pretty smart because I feel like the first Lunar Hygienics had to be like astronauts.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they were the first ones that had like access to moon water, and that's how it all came to be.
Well, yeah, like
where's what's his name? Armstrong.
Neil
on the
Armstrong.
moon. Where's Neil Armstrong? You ever seen him and a werewolf in the same room? Yeah, I didn't think so.
No, so he was on the moon, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was playing his trumpet on the moon because same guy. And
close.
Wait, it's Lance Armstrong. Wait,
you're thinking of Louis Armstrong when he's playing the
I was
trumpet.
trying to make a joke. And I think I fucked up. Okay, no, can you see? Whatever. He's standing on the moon. He's playing his trumpet.
Yeah.
And he takes his gloves off to one of his valves gets stuck. He has to put some valve oil in. So he takes off. He can't really get it
but he doesn't have any. He's out of the oil. So he's like, what's around me?
Exactly. And he's trying to get these gloves. He can't get his gloves on. So he takes some of the water in his bare hand, and all of a sudden it's a bare hand.
It's a bare hand.
And he's like, what the hell?
Because
kind of like Tim Robbins inside. What the hell?
hell?
What the hell?
That was a pretty good Tim Robinson.
That was pretty good. It's not limited to just werewolves.
No.
It can be werebears.
Oh yeah,
It's
actually whatever you want in your brain.
Yeah.
So all police officers
Whatever
turns
you're
into pig.
Dong 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 dong. Derek, the police are here to take you and bring you to jail, where you have to talk. Your punishment, your crime, your community service you must pay is talk about the movie that we watched. But I just want to keep talking about the Cult of the Lunar Hygienics.
The Cult of the Lunar Hygienics is probably obviously our episode title for today.
It's fantastic.
And it's probably one of the greatest things we've ever talked about.
I could go on, and we could, but we should talk about our movie, which has to do with bits you may have to the tentative listen to the listeners with a keen ear may have caught some themes showing up, i.e. The 80s, i.e. prom, i.e. less than great movies.
Also, we should let you know we're really sorry for missing a week. Things have been kind of crazy.
Guys.
We're gonna be back on our normal routine starting this week.
We're back.
Everything's back in normal. Me going to Malaysia really threw us through a ringer a little bit.
Crazy.
We just haven't been able to reestablish a timeline.
It's fine. We're getting there. But thanks for hanging in there with us. But this week we came back to you with another movie, except we're liars a little bit. Because we had promised you guys that we would see Garfield die in Gotham.
The Bat!
The Bat?
The Bat!
He's Derek still. That's going to be the whole episode when we do end up watching that, which we will watch next time. But there's a movie that came out this year.
Yes.
Of our Lord.
It came out this week.
2025.
Nope, 2 weeks ago.
Very, very recently this movie came out, and a lot of people were chit-chatting about it.
Yeah, at first I was like, oh, that looks fun. And then I saw reviews, and they were like 50% on Rotten Tomatoes. I was like, oh, that's not looking very
You guys
good.
ever heard of R.L. Stein?
Okay, I have a bone to pick.
It's me, Gary Goosebump, the biggest Goosebumps fan in the world. I love R.L. Stein. Have you seen him? Have you smelt him?
Twice.
Tell me what's it like. I need to know.
So much goop.
Yeah, it's so goop.
He smells so
good and
goopy.
good. That's what I wanted.
I have a question for you. Biggest fan of R.L. Stein.
Yeah, it's me, Gary Goosebump.
What book series did he write other than Goosebumps?
That it's funny you would mention that. It's the one. It's he's got it's called something. It's Golden Goop. I love the Golden Goops.
I thought you were a fan. I thought we were going to segue into the movie.
Well, I don't want to hit the big basics like Fear Street.
Oh. Wait, I actually think that's the one.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Yeah.
And I remember back in the day when Netflix made a trilogy of them. It was the Fear Street trilogy.
So I haven't actually seen those.
More
have
like
you seen those?
Fear Street trilogy, because it was chilling tales.
So I have a bone to pick with you specifically because I can't.
Please pick my bones, and then maybe R.L. Stein will respond to my letters. I'll give him my bones, and then he'll finally love me.
What the fuck? Is R.L. Stein your dad? And he's estranged from you?
I'm Gary Goosebump Stein. That's my full name.
Oh, God. Oh, ew. Have you ever looked at R.L. Stein before?
Yeah, he kind of looks like if hepatitis was a person.
I wouldn't go that far. He's a handsome lad.
It's fine.
He kind of looks.
Definitely. You look at him, and if we were playing like get to know you games, and it's like, what do you guys think I do for work? This man is a writer. Like, he is an author through and through to his core. Look at him. This guy writes books.
You know, I actually, when I look at him for the first time, and I see that big like wart on his forehead, I imagine like I'm in the doctor's office, and I'm really nervous.
Yeah.
And then the nurse comes in. She's like, Derek. And I don't hear it because I have my AirPods in.
Yeah.
Derek.
You're nervous.
Derek Wayman. I'm like, what? Oh, and I see her, and I put my clipboard.
Yeah, that's me, Darren Woman.
I put my magazine down. I was just reading, Next Hot Goss.
Yeah.
And I stand up, and I'm a little uncomfortable because there's a lot of people in there. So I kind of shuffle past the lady who's coughing and covering her mouth.
Like the moment you get called into the doctor's office, all eyes are on you for a second. All these strangers looking at you.
And then she leads me. She says, "Okay, take off your shoes and get on this.
Take off your shoes.
Scale."
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay. And then I see my weight, and she grumpily tells me 256. I'm like, damn it, I've gained so much.
God damn it.
And then she's like, okay, let me check your height. 6 foot. Okay. And she pulls me into the back, and she's we're going.
So much information about yourself just in this one bit.
I'm not done. And she says, okay, we're going into room 3. And I'm like, okay, we're going to room 3. And I go and I sit down into room 3, and she's like, hey, you got to take your blood pressure now. She puts the thing around my arm.
He's flatlining. We're losing him.
What? Is that down the hall?
Yeah, we're just down the hall. We got other doctor noises going on in the building.
And then like, oh, my arm is like, you know how like the blood pressure thing is like really, really, really tight for 1 second. Then
it's like almost too much.
And then she touches you with that cold thing, the stethoscope. And she's like, okay, 7,000 over 85. And you're like, what?
That's not even possible.
That's not even possible. And you don't understand the number she says, but you're like, oh, okay. And then depending on her reaction, you're like either, okay, that was really good or really bad. But you didn't know because you don't know those numbers right off the top of your head, but they do.
Yeah, of course.
Or like sometimes they'll like look at it
It means
and then
something
they'll
to
do it
them.
again, or they'll check your other arm. And
I'll be
like,
honest,
oh.
anytime they tell me, I'm like, unless they make a bad face about it, I assume it's okay.
Yeah. Anyway, then R.L. Stein walks into the room.
You're fucking in the middle of the doctor's office like, R.L. Stein?
But then it actually just turns out it's your doctor. And he sits down and he kind of like slumps over in his computer and he's like, okay, well, what are we seeing you here for today? I see you've got some back problems. Have you ever tried lidocaine?
And then he goes over to the sink to wash his hands because doctors wash their hands like 8 times in one visit with you, and he turns into a werewolf in front of you.
Oh my god!
Because R.L. Stein is a part of the cult of the Lunar Hygienics.
That's why he's always wearing gloves. Anyway, I'm so sorry about that tangent. I love that kind of humor, and I can't help. All right.
I did it because it was funny. Don't you understand?
Do you think we should edit that whole thing out?
No, absolutely not.
Anyway, the reason that I'm ranting about R.L. Stein is mainly he looks like he would be a doctor. And I feel like I would ask him a question and he would like turn his laptop away from me and then type something and then be like, okay, so it's this.
Yeah, this man could fit 3 roles. He could either be author, doctor, or like teacher.
He's also a grandpa because he's 81 years old. Whoa. Okay, oh my gosh, he's only been married once. Good for you, man. Only had 1 kid, too. Probably because he's terrified of childbirth.
I'm sure he's terrified of a lot of things. He has twisted, fucked up mind.
So Fear Street. We watched Fear Street Prom Queen. We never said that.
Prom Queen is what we watched.
I did not know that Fear Street was written by R.L. Stein.
He was mad about it.
I still am.
Derek's pissed off that I didn't.
That's why he
him.
became my doctor in my fantasy.
Yeah. He needs to fulfill many roles for you. He's a father figure for me, but he's a doctor for you. Father to some, doctors to others. That's my dad. That's R.L. Stein.
Father to me, doctor to others. That's my dad. R.L. Stein. Can we please put that on a shirt?
That sounds like the end of like a TED Talk. Like that's how you end a PowerPoint. The crowd goes wild.
You know those?
I'm choking on my own words.
You know those shirts that are just like ridiculous text that don't make any sense? Father to me, doctor to some. That's my dad.
That's my dad.
R.L. Stein. It's like the shirt we made that was like I just shot Garf. I
shot Jim Davis and all I got was a stupid shirt.
Can we please make these shirts? I'm gonna write it down.
New shirt idea.
Okay, say it with me. Okay, father
to me, doctor to others, doctor to some, doctor to some.
That's my dad! Exclamation mark.
I need to go and design this shirt.
Yo, there's nothing to design. It's literally just text on a shirt. You can throw our little logo on there. Can we make these shirts? I'm not even joking.
These shirts.
I'm going to do it when we're done.
Tell us now if you want one of these shirts because I'm gonna make them.
I have to wear this shirt for the rest of my life, and then I need people to ask me questions. Be like, what? I mean, your dad isn't R.L. Stein.
Your dad isn't R.L. Stein, sorry. If he's not your dad, then he's your doctor. In this life, he's one of 2 things. In this life, you can be one of 2 things. Either R.L. Stein's child or his patient.
Okay. Well,
wowie.
I think it's about time for us to move on. We've forgotten all of our bits that we normally do.
Oh my god.
Let's take a look at our flow so that we didn't miss anything.
Let's take a peek at the board.
I don't think that
Have we hit the show flow? We got a cold open. We introduced eventually.
We barely introduced.
What did we watch? We've been stuck on the riffs, bits, and gaffs for a minute.
We haven't taken this long from recording ever. Literally ever. Since we started this podcast, this is the longest we've ever gone without. And that's why it's a little disjointed. Oh, Bilbo. Oh, hello,
Bilbo
it's me.
Bartender.
I haven't been here in like 5 episodes.
Now tell me, is R.L. Stein your dad or your doctor?
I can't disclose that information. My lawyer has told me. Anyway, today you're just drinking Rockstar Punched, which is what you guys need after the fucking week you had.
I can't stop laughing. That's my dad.
That's my dad.
I'm broken. I'm crying. It's so good.
That's my dad.
Oh my god.
That's my favorite part. I just love
You
that.
think he's busy?
R.L. Stine?
Get him on the podcast. Talk to us.
Can you imagine if we got R.L.
Can
Stine?
we just get him to send us like a clip like, hey boys, from That Was Horrible, real good work on the podcast. I need him to say he's proud of me. And I needed him to say you're cancer free.
Isaac.
What's up?
What if he comes to like a con or something and we get him to sign those shirts?
What would his reaction be to that?
I don't know.
Like, I don't even know where to begin. He's got a lot of people coming up with different Goosebumps books and the haunted masks from the most popular ones. He's like, oh, yeah, sure, I'll sign these. And he signs these shirts. He's like, what the fuck?
The part that just keeps getting me is that's my dad.
That's my dad.
And I imagine it like all in basically Times New Roman, and then just R.L. Stine is in the
like
Goosebumps
font. Yes, Goosebumps font. Is that what I just...
Can we talk about Fear Street?
Oh my god, guys. Okay. I had seen the original Fear Street trilogy that was released back in, like, what, 2021?
2018, I thought.
No way it was that long ago. Was it that long ago?
I don't know. Don't ask
It was
me.
a while ago, but it was in my professional opinion, as a man who has a long-standing podcast where I talk about horror movies. They're incredible. The Fear Street trilogy was actually really, really, really good. It was three individual movies that took place in different like decades and time periods. 2021, and they all had this like interconnected story that was weaved throughout. It was awesome, great storytelling. I really need Derek to watch it. So I watched that. When they announced Fear Street Prom Queen, I was excited because I was like, oh, sick, awesome, more Fear Street.
Yeah,
I love that.
Of course,
Fear Street is good. Fear Street is in. I want more Fear Street. And then they came out with Prom Queen. And how did the internet receive this, Derek?
So Prom... Hey, good segue. Prom Queen is sitting at a 26 on Rotten Tomatoes. You've got a 1.7 on Letterboxd. IMDb is sitting at a 41. And for some reason, I don't have the audience score on Fear Street Prom Queen, which is really easy to get. So don't worry,
guys. We have the internet.
We have the internet. It's 24. Oh man. So 26 for the audience, for the critics, and 24 for the audience.
So we've almost got the what is it? The audience and
the double gold.
The two of them together.
Yeah.
In blissful harmony.
And I don't know. It just like it's sad to me that this movie cost $70 million.
It is apparent that a lot of money went into this movie. Like, it definitely shows because there are times where, like, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, it looks all right.
At least as far from, like, a cinematography standpoint.
Maybe it was just... The set just seemed so familiar. Like, I felt like I'd seen it a million times.
Yeah, but...
we'll kind of get more into that.
Yeah, it's kind of a culmination of a lot of different, classic 80s slashers kind of things, but, like, not the best parts of them. Like honestly, just kind of lackluster in most regards of it. Derek, what's up?
Okay.
Find something?
So you know how when you type something into Google now, it gives you like an AI overview?
Yeah. It gives you the automated response.
So to quickly write a note down of our quote that is becoming a t-shirt after the end of this episode, I wrote down...
Yeah, you just started typing it in your search bar.
And then I hit search, and then I moved on, and that was my way of remembering it.
And you found out the shirt already exists.
No. Oh my God, can you imagine? No, I'm going to read you the AI overview because
Please.
AI doesn't know how to handle me.
No.
You're referring... Okay, AI overview. You're referring to... Oh my God.
You're referring
to a memorable line from R.L. Stine's Ghost book, Stay Out of the Basement.
Wait, hold on. What?
Just wait.
Are we?
No. It shocked me. In the book, Dr. Brewer conducts plant experiments in his basement. He tries to convince his children, Margaret and Casey, that their real father is a plant clone.
Yep.
By stating something similar to the line you provided. That's not your father. He's a copy, a plant copy. There's all the instant where the plant copy of Dr. Brewer says, you're the copy to the original Brewer. The line, father to me, doctor to someone, that's my dad, that's not even what I wrote. It's not a direct quote from the book. It's a description of the main character, who was a father and a doctor. I'm actually kind of impressed with AI there.
That's crazy.
The fact that it jumbled together my bullshit.
and grabbed something maybe meaningful to you in the situation.
So I'm kind of mad that I didn't know this was R.L. Stine, because I definitely would have made a bigger effort to watch Fear Street. I remember I did watch the original when it came out, but I don't remember anything about it. And I started watching the second one, and I was like, oh, no, I need to go back and rewatch the first one, because some of it was familiar.
They are truly ones where you kind of have to keep the solid thread. I remember they released, if I'm remembering right, they released them not in the same day. They were either days apart or maybe like a week apart between them. But you watched one on that premiere, then you had to wait about a week to watch the next one. But you had to keep it fresh in your brain. It was a pretty fun time watching those ones.
I like that kind of thing.
But I am happy that they're getting more love to R.L. Stine's other projects that aren't just Goosebumps. Because I'll be honest, before the Fear Street trilogy came out, I did not know he did anything other than Goosebumps.
Well, I still didn't know. He's also written Rotten School, Mostly Ghastly, Nightmare Hour, and The Nightmare Room.
Interesting.
He's also written a ton of other humor books for children.
Really?
Under the alias
a funny guy.
Jovial Bob Stein.
Sorry, what?
What the fuck?
That's my dad, Jovial Bob Stein.
Oh my God, wait. No, this is so real. Bob Stein wrote a bunch of books that were just silly 101 ghost jokes, 101 silly monster jokes.
Okay, hold on. I need
creepy...
those books, though.
I know you do. I can see it in your eyes.
Derek's going to be a dad. I'm going to get him those for his dad day.
Don't out me as a dad. I already gave away all of my other information on this episode.
Yeah, how much you weigh, how tall you are, first and last name, who your doctor is.
Bob Stein. I just want to know one of these books.
I know. Just can we get a taste, a teaser, please? I want to know at least one ghost joke or a monster joke that Mr. Bob Stein is responsible.
There's
for.
obviously 101.
So if they can just spare one. Well, please, sir, may I, a mere crumb of monster jokes.
I actually don't know if you can. I don't know if you could find this book online.
It's
I think you have to
been
buy
banned. It's on the banned books list. This 101 ghost jokes.
Yeah, dude, this is all over. It's all gone. Man, that's that. I'll buy it for you.
Yeah.
I'll get it for you for your birthday.
Hell yeah.
When you're a dad.
When I'm a dad. We'll pass it on. We'll pass it from dad to dad. The Sisterhood of the Traveling Dad joke books.
You gotta leave it at Sisterhood of the Traveling Dad. Because that is a substantially different book.
We're coming up with some great things today, huh? We're really putting some great stuff into the world, and that's why we have a podcast.
That's why people tune in every other week. And then you cough into the microphone, they all leave.
Guys, people did not like Fear Street Prom Queen.
No, they hated it. And I get why.
I've been pretty busy lately, so I haven't had the time to watch the movies that I want to. I was excited that Fear Street Prom Queen was coming out, but it kind of I don't know. I guess it snuck up on me. I wasn't ready for it to be released, so I was like, oh, I'll get to it when I get the time for it. So in the meantime, I've been scrolling through things like Twitter and just seeing everybody bash on how awful it is. People are really, really not fond of it, which sucks because I thought the original trilogy was so good. That I'm like, how do we fall so far from God's light? What happened?
How have we fallen so far from God?
And R.L. Stine, I don't blame you.
Yeah. So this movie,
one's not your fault.
This movie, Fear Street Prom Queen, was written and directed by Matt Palmer, which is always a bad move. It is based on the book by the same name, written by R.L. Stine.
Right.
And it was adapted by Matt Palmer and Donald McLeary.
Because if I remember right, something about the trilogy of Fear Street movies was not necessarily 100% based off of a Fear Street book. There's no one-to-one, you can't go get a Fear Street 1966 or whatever it was, as a book. But this one does exist. Fear Street Prom Queen.
You can't actually go buy it.
Which I'm curious. I wish I looked more into that, the differences between the two. How close are they? Was R.L. Stine closely in relations with the cast and crew of this movie?
Yeah, I don't know. From what I can tell, R.L. Stine was not involved. It does look like maybe his daughter or his wife was involved in the creation. But I'm currently looking into the Prom Queen book, but I'll do that on the side. So Donald McLeary helped adapt the story. He hasn't really done anything. He wrote something that I cannot repeat on this podcast.
Oh, yeah.
And let's see. Yeah. Nothing else.
That's my dad.
That's my dad. And then Matt Palmer also hasn't done too much. He did Calabre and The Gas Man. And Island.
I looked into him. I'm like, this man has done nothing of note. I have no idea who this dude is.
Yeah, it kind of looks like they just gave him a chance. He's written a couple things for Netflix, and that's it. I think he's a Nepo guy.
Oh yeah,
like he's the son of Netflix.
he's what's his name?
Matt.
He's Matt Netflix.
Hey, what's up to Matt Netflix?
Can't believe I lost again to Matt Netflix.
I lost Matt Netflix. Well, that's Matt Netflix for you. That's all I really have to say about the production of this movie. There really isn't too much to say about it other than, it just isn't getting good reviews.
Yeah.
$70 million budget. They made an amount of money. We don't know because it's Netflix.
That's true.
I don't know how
we
they
don't have...
It's really interesting to be an age of where movies are releasing on these streaming services, and you can't judge how well they're doing based on their...
Guys.
Oh, he's talking about
Guys, the most important trailer of my life came out like a week ago.
That's true, it did happen.
Is very, very big deal. No, almost exactly a week ago, a week and a day. They released the trailer for Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein.
Why is that the movie of your life?
So happy because I love me a Frankenstein.
Well,
I love
the
story. I have a tattoo of Frankenstein on my arm. Guillermo del Toro is my favorite director of all time. All the stars are aligning. He is finally getting to make this movie his passion project of so many years. Point is, though, the reason I bring this up, I am so nervous about the fact that it currently belongs to Netflix. Netflix has their hands on this movie. On one hand, I am happy to have Netflix money behind this movie. On the other hand, if this movie does not get any kind of theatrical release, I'm gonna kill someone. I'm gonna do a murder.
Hey, don't kill anybody.
I'm gonna do a murder if you don't put it in theaters somewhere.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they will because they put Pinocchio into
that's the thing. I was thinking the same thing because yes, Guillermo del Toro also did Pinocchio, so I'm hoping we get some kind of a smaller release. If not, and this is no joke, I'm gonna hold some kind of event myself. I'll find some theater that will let me rent it out, and we're all gonna watch Frankenstein on the big screen, and that'll be from me to you. And that was horrible hosted Frankenstein screening.
Maybe we should just do that anyway.
That sounds kick-ass anyway.
Why don't we just do that?
I kind of don't
understand why we shouldn't just do that.
All right, catch us in November where we're watching Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein.
We could even offer tickets.
I think it'd be fun. You guys want to come see a movie?
I think we wouldn't be able to charge people, but we could at least have accept donations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so I did look into it a little bit.
Yeah.
And the Redditor Newt here,
thanks, Newt here,
also has a podcast, and they actually deep dived into the book of R.L. Stein's. Their podcast is called Fearopoly Street. So shout out to them.
Cool.
If you hear this, you should shout out to us.
Just kind of throw it back.
Yeah, just toss it back. Apparently, according to Newt here on Reddit, they say the book is better than the movie, but it is actually completely different.
Oh, okay.
Characters' names are different. It's only really Prom Queen by name.
Interesting.
If you notice, the book is actually The Prom Queen, and the movie is just Prom Queen. They're apparently completely different.
Very weird. You always wonder, why do that? Why change it? Why go so far from what the original is and what made it good, just for the name of it, I guess?
Yeah, I guess.
Just to be able to say R.L. Stein backed this up and he's my dad?
According to CreepyChan88, the Prom Queen movie has a similar premise to the book. The movie has more gore and a higher body count.
Really?
Characters are all different. The motivations are different.
I did enjoy the gore, so that I'm into. That's a welcome change.
The motivation of the person behind the murders in the book is actually completely different. The murders don't happen on the night of prom. They happen on different days.
Interesting. Leading up to prom. Yeah, the prom killings. Very neat. Should we talk about the critics, what they were thinking here?
Also, the Prom Queen, the cover of the book is so much sicker.
The cover is sick.
So dope.
Yeah.
Why didn't they do that?
I think they actually did. What I do like about it, they did a series of different posters. Just look up Fear Street Prom Queen Netflix posters, because they did a couple of them that were one-to-one direct, because even the poster, the main one is reminiscent of it. But they did homages to things like Halloween and Carrie and A Nightmare on Elm Street.
That's so good.
So I'll be so real with you. The custom posters that they made for this are so much better than the movie.
Oh my God, I was right.
What?
Oh my God, I was right about the weapons.
Oh, you're right.
Oh my God, I was right.
You absolutely called it.
I didn't notice that until now. We'll talk about that in a minute. and how excited I am.
As it comes up. But yeah, honestly,
I want to tell him now, but that's a huge spoiler.
the spirit of this movie and the ideas and the posters, marketing for it are all so much better than what the movie ended up actually being.
These posters are dope as hell.
Yeah, no, they're sick.
Everyone buy Letterboxd Patron, not sponsored.
Dude,
so
every day when I see people posting their cool posters, I wanna do it.
Do you have any idea how validated I feel right now? I'm so excited to talk about that. All right.
We'll get there. So, Derek, the critics on Rotten Tomatoes, there's a consensus. Shall I read said consensus? The critics on Rotten Tomatoes say, with a rotten consensus, tired and uninspired, Fear Street plays like an 80s retread of better slashers, while ensuring the winning crown does not go to this prom queen.
Why did you do that in your acting voice?
I don't know. I'm an actor.
I feel like that's the voice you go to sometimes, and I like it.
Because that's what I feel like. Critics are pompous and full of themselves.
Like if you're given like a pre-show announcement to do.
Yeah.
And here today at the theater, this is Isaac.
Hi,
It's a pocket priest.
No.
All right, let's read some of these reviews.
Yeah. What you got?
Thanks for those of you who stuck around through the crazy, wonderful things that we've been saying today.
It's a great time. I hope you're having as good a time as we are.
So excited. I'm gonna wear that shirt.
I hope you're all
day.
so excited to wear these shirts.
I'm so excited to wear that shirt. I'm gonna buy like 50 of them and just give them out. We got that means we have to put "that was horrible" on the back.
Yeah,
so
we got to put it somewhere. Jake Tropila from In Review Online with a rotten review says, anyone signing up for Fear Street Prom Queen to see some bodies get exquisitely maimed likely won't be disappointed, but it might be hard to feel truly satisfied when the film offers so little else to chew on.
Derek Smith from Slant Magazine.
You just picked him because his name's Derek.
Like its predecessors, this film is often awkward mix of YA drama and R-rated gore.
Okay, bullshit. The other ones were not that way. I'll fight you, Derek.
I mean, a lot of people disagree with you about the originals, but I wasn't going to say anything.
Hey. I liked them.
It's true. I was looking into it, and actually, it's fairly mixed. This one is like, overall, everyone hates it.
Where do those ones sit on Rotten Tomatoes?
I think they're like all sitting between like 40 and 60.
What? Well, okay. That's still a much better place to be in.
Here, you read the next review. I'll pull it up.
Yeah. So we got a fresh review here from Joey Kyo from Wicked Horror. Says, shorn of the self-consciousness and near constant anachronistic needle drops of its predecessors, Fear Street Prom Queen is free to just be a down and dirty, proudly 80s style slasher, complete with thrills, kills, and plenty of bloody spills. Okay, I did like that tagline. Don't know if I agree with you there, but I like the spirit.
I don't know what information I was giving you. I'm a big fat ugly liar. Part 1 is sitting at 84.
Yeah.
Part 2 is at 88. Part 3 is at 89.
Yeah, I was like, I was pretty certain they were like pretty well received.
I feel like I just knew nothing about these movies because I genuinely thought they all sucked, and I thought they were not by R.L.
Check them out if you want to suggest.
Sadie
from
Sink gets punched in the face in the second one.
She sure does.
That's how it starts. That's the only reason I know.
You got another review for me?
Well, I left.
The last I left. I just stopped.
Pramit Chandra. Oh my god.
Pramit.
Okay.
Pramit. Damn it, Pramit, get over here.
It's his name.
It's me, your dad, R.L. Stein.
Oh my god.
Get on in here and read more horror stories.
I feel like we're creating a cult where we all sit around in a circle and we like, blessed be our father, R.L. Stein. Robert Lee.
It's fine. I have R.L. Stein on my side.
What do you think R.L. stands for? Real life.
Real lover. Real lover.
Realistic
Stein.
lover. Pramit Chatterjee from Digital. I know it sounds not real, but that is 100%.
Sorry, the name's funny.
Don't be mean. Pramit Chatterjee from Digital. Damn it.
See, you can't even.
It's all your fucking fault. From Digital Media Talkies says Fear Street, Prom Street.
You good today, Derek?
Shut up.
Fear Street, we need to start the podcast over.
Yeah, let's just start over. We'll make all the same bits. Fear Street Prom Queen is like a massive nothing burger. It has nothing interesting to say. It doesn't have any interesting characters. It doesn't have any interesting twists and turns. And that makes me wonder, what is even the point of this movie? You know, something that was resonating through my mind the entire... Why am I covered in blood?
Pretty much everything he said. Derek, you should go wash off in the moon water. Why are you bleeding?
Blood.
You got a little bit on your nose here. It's like underneath you.
What is happening?
Derek's bleeding. He's been cursed. What's happening to Derek? You good? You cool?
Yeah, I sucked it back in.
Okay. Yeah, I don't understand why everybody like has a problem with like bleeding out. Just like suck it all back in.
Yeah, you lose your arm, you're bleeding out. Just suck it in. You can breathe through your arm.
Yeah.
R.L. Stein. Why was I bleeding?
R.L. Stein. That's like the Frankenstein's monster abomination R.L. Stein, where it's just like a bunch of arms sewn together.
R.L. Stein is a dope ass
Go catch them, my creature,
that's
R.L. Stein.
right there.
That's beautiful,
I love it a lot.
actually.
Okay, I don't know why I was bleeding.
Before you were covered in blood, you were saying something.
I don't remember because I got distracted by the actual blood on my hands.
Caught red-handed, Derek.
Well, sorry, everybody. Do you remember what I was saying?
I don't.
Damn it.
We were talking about R.L. Stein. We were making a cult. He was the father.
No, I just said that.
No,
I remember. No, so he said, what's the point of this movie? And throughout the entire movie, I was thinking about one of my favorite reviewers on YouTube is Jeremy Johns. If you haven't watched him, he's great. Yeah. One of his review ratings is, I won't remember this in T-1 to 2 minutes or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
That was resonating in my brain the entire movie.
I was resonating throughout the movie. I'd be like, I don't remember what happened 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll get into that right now.
Absolutely.
Do you want to go over your expectations?
Let's go over our expectations. First, generally, I was expecting to be met with what pretty much everybody else was saying about it. I was like, this one is probably not going to live up to its predecessors even a little bit. It's probably going to be a pretty bad time. So that's what I was thinking, generally expecting. What about you?
I will have a slasher fun time. I love me a good slasher movie. You know, I was hoping for a fun kills at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. My very first formal expectation says it's going to give us fun 80s tropes, but like wrong. It'll be like one of those where like it wants to be these other things and just cannot actually live up to them. Like I feel like it misses the point or like what made them good. It'll just be like kind of shoddily done. Like I wasn't really expecting them to do a good job at the references to other 80s slashers.
I literally had the exact same expectation.
Really?
Yeah. Just every 80s trope in the book.
Yep, pretty much.
I just expected them to do it wrong.
Yeah. My second one then, I guess if that's yours, was probably one really good kill. That's what I said. I'm like, I think we'll go through and there'll probably be some interesting ones, but there's going to be one where I'm like, okay, that's where the budget went. That one.
Have we finally reached the point where we've reached this like...
Are we finishing each other's sentences?
We're finishing each other's expectations. Because my next one is kills too. It's undeserved kills though, where it felt like all of the kills would just happen and not really have any good payoff, not feel satisfying, feel disjointed.
Which in some ways can be like, kind of a reference to a lot of slashers, because I feel like, we reach a point in the slasher movies where like they understood audiences just want to see people die and in crazier and crazier ways, which is like what happened with all of the Friday the 13th movies. They just kept trying to up the ante.
And Final Destination.
Yeah, and Final Destination too. They're filling people in sleeping bags and bashing them against trees, and then Jason X, they freeze a girl's face and slam it on the... it's cool. There's cool kills in Friday the 13th.
And I mean, fun kills can be good, but there has to be some substance to the movie. And if you don't have any, like... Even if you force me to hate your characters, which I have complained about in the past.
Yes, it does happen sometimes. And
but
there's
when
a little bit of satisfaction.
When none of that happens, it feels bad.
Yeah.
Feels bad, man.
Feels bad, man.
We'll talk about if that happened in this movie.
So I guess we're on to my next one then, because ours are similar again. I just said annoying characters, just obnoxious. Like I really am not going to enjoy any of them. What's your next one?
Annoying sexual energy.
What the hell? What's happening?
What is happening?
Why are we lining up?
I don't know. It's weird.
Well, yes, you're right. So then my next one, I said it was probably going to feel long for like an hour and a half movie. It's literally
different.
1 hour, 30 minutes long.
Finally.
But I felt like it was really going to drag along the way.
Killer will be someone incredibly obvious is what I wrote.
Yeah.
I was really feeling that kind of like 80s style thing where they're like, we're going to throw all of these red herrings at you, but the one it isn't is the one it is.
Yeah, because they love to do that. I mean, that's true. There were some moments in this where they definitely wanted you to believe it was certain characters, but I just can't learn to trust that ever. I'm like, no, because you never know, especially with movies like this where you're like, are they going to give us the obvious thing? Or they're like, no, you were expecting that. But then they're like, we expected you to expect that, so we're going to give it to you because we thought we were going to flip it. Like it kind of, it goes on forever. It's a lot. But then my final expectation just said the multiple killers trope. It all started in Scream. Spoiler for those of you who haven't seen Scream. If not, go see Scream.
Oops.
But I was really expecting it to be one of those pretty corny reveals where like, oh no, there's two killers.
There's two people in my house. Muriel. Oh.
I love it.
Dog, you make me look bad.
I love it. That was an interesting Eustace.
It's fine.
I love when you do your Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Muriel.
Can you say that's my dad, R.L. Stein?
I'll say the whole thing.
Yeah.
What was it? Damn it. This is why I wrote it down. Father to be, doctor to some. Oh, that's my dad. That doesn't sound like him. Muriel.
That's good. That's really good. So
Okay.
what's your last expectation?
It actually fits in with yours. I said too many characters.
Yeah.
You said multiple killers. I said too many characters.
Which, damn,
These
is that
movies
a problem
tend to
in
just
this
like
movie?
shove so many characters down your throat.
And I
it's
feel
like, how many characters can we kill?
Yeah, and that's another thing too, is like, I feel like you can have a movie, if you want to go absolute balls to the wall and kill a lot of people in a movie, you can just kill like passerbys on the screen. You don't have to give them lines and screen time for nothing. Because I feel like there's a big issue in this movie that it's like, they gave us characters who like you had never met before. They talked for one sequence and then they're dying. It's like, okay. It honestly would have been better to me if they were nobodies who said nothing at all, like when you killed them.
Or it's the situation where you see one character for one scene, they say 2 sentences, and then they end up being a killer.
Yeah, that happens too sometimes. Well, but not in this movie.
No, never.
Not in Fear Street Prom Queen.
Never in Fear Street Prom Queen.
My dad, R.L. Stein, would never.
Yeah, thank you, Papa.
Thanks, Papa. Papa Stein.
I'll praise the Lunar Hygienics.
All praise. Down with solar hygienics.
In 1988, something happened.
What happened in 1988?
The senior class, I'm not going to just read the synopsis.
Now, Derek, get us started. How do we get off and rolling? First of all, with some goddamn good synth.
Oh, dude. Okay, right off the bat, the music in this movie slapped.
One thing that can instantly set up a movie set in the 80s, set up for success, is get some banger synth music in there. Because damn, was the music popping in the 80s. A good time. Not only just for the synth music, but also for all the other stuff being released at the time. So we start off right out the gate. Some good music from
this
Power
band,
Glove.
right?
Power Glove. Good stuff. God bless.
That's it's like when you have oven mitts, but they're like really powerful.
Yeah. You could have gone with a reference to like the Nintendo Power Glove. You
thought
didn't want
about
to go
it. That
there.
was too easy.
Nah. Low hanging fruit.
It's like whenever you're improvising, and man, my nose will not stop bleeding, dude. I can feel it.
Which is funny because it's not inside of it. It's the tip of your nose, like right on the tip of it has a little puncture.
Why? What?
I don't know.
Who did
What'd
that?
you do?
Was it you?
Yeah, I bit your nose real quick
What?
without you looking.
Oh my god, I'm transforming.
So, listener at home, just imagine this whole episode with Derek wearing our cool shirts that we're gonna make, and he's got blood on his nose.
It looks like a needle puncture.
What you
Wait,
do?
what the hell?
Dr. R.L. Stein pricked you.
I'm gonna take a picture of this, and you can post it on our social.
This is what happens when podcasting gets out of hand.
And then
when you go too long without podcasting, oh my god.
will you just post that on the socials?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that people can see my nose puncture and be like,
Do you believe it's not bullshit?
Tune in to see why this picture exists.
The crazy episode that led to Derek bleeding on the podcast.
And I bled out from a teeny nose prick.
But then he sucked it all back in. So
that was my nickname in high school, nose prick.
Nose prick.
In 1988, senior class. Okay. Yeah. No, we really do need to get into this. So yeah,
No,
Power
absolutely.
Glove.
Power Glove. Great music, synthesizers, love it. Immediately, the movie's coming across very, very corny. Derek was even like, she's really going to say one of these, like, you're probably wondering how I got here kind of situations.
Really, her whole opening monologue was exactly that style.
Everything about this movie from the get-go is just corny as all get out. Just bad for that, you know?
It felt so intentional, though. And you can do stuff like this, like homages.
Yeah.
You can do these well, and you can make them effective. But this felt so out of touch.
I feel like this one didn't have any idea how hard it wanted to commit to a bit sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, did we want to go deep into like making it more of a funny kind of thing? How serious do we want to make it? How far do we want to go with these homages? So like nothing about it really clicked or worked. They're really like in the best way I can describe this movie is like there just wasn't a lot of substance to it, and it really felt like it felt like it had a lot of substance.
Yeah, it did.
Because I feel like there were so many conversations with like this kind of like dramatic music underneath it, where these characters are having like this like quote unquote heart to heart like serious intense moment between each other. But I'm sitting here, I'm like, am I missing something? Am I supposed to give a shit about what's happening?
Right?
I don't think I care.
I don't think I care.
No,
it's
honestly.
wild.
And like everything they were giving to us came up so unnaturally and disjointed, as you would put it.
I really feel like, and I hope I'm wrong. I really do hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But it really is a perfect example of how I think an AI would write this movie.
Yes. Even in the way the dialogue was delivered. Derek was saying, he's like, yeah, the actors just moved their lips. It was like ADR'd afterwards.
It really feels
that way.
It feels like they're just moving their mouths and then they added all of the dialogue in a cold read after the fact.
Yeah,
and for those of you who aren't don't know what I mean, essentially a cold read is when you're given a script for the first time and you read it, right? And you just read it out loud. And normally it's like on the first day of set or something.
So it's basically like a first run at a scene, right?
So the way that this felt was that like in ADR, which is like the after when you go and record dialogue for a movie after the movie is filmed. So it felt like in that session, they were handed a script for the first time and we're just reading the dialogue. And it felt like that the entire movie.
Yeah, no, very little emotion in a lot of the performances. Even like, and again, it's just like, I feel like this movie thought it was doing so much more than it was.
Oh, yeah.
And it was doing very little.
It felt pretentious almost.
Yes, a little bit. Like it really felt like it was doing some really substantial stuff. I'm like, you're not that guy, pal. Trust me, you're not.
And right off the bat, we're introduced to so many different characters, and I wish we could.
And
not
only that is it so many characters that are just like 1 degree off of the character next to them.
Even the way they look,
like there's something about them that it feels like they took one actor, changed their costume or wig, and then they recorded them again. Like they're all so similar to each other. There's like a dad and a teacher that you could swear were the same actor.
Still think that they were the
like the main girl of the prom queen situation next to the mean girl of the prom queen situation, also pretty similar to each other. All the jock characters,
pretty sure they just had different wigs.
Nobody really stood out amongst the crowd. They all just kind of blended in as like your generic, just run of the mill, one dimensional. High school trope characters.
It really feels like they typed into an AI, take the plot of Mean Girls, put it during prom, have them all kill each other.
Yeah, like I just so to tell you a bit about the plot of this movie, prom is the most goddamn important thing in the world.
It's like a beauty pageant.
Nothing matters more than prom, apparently.
And it's like, but it's different prom. It's like a literal beauty pageant.
It's prom on steroids, truly.
I guess. Like they have like this whole choreographed dance they're rehearsing. What?
Like, I don't know. I wasn't around in the 80s. I went to prom, but like I didn't really care much about it. I just showed up to hang out with my friends and dance and stuff. But like, was there ever really, truly a time where prom was this important? Because throughout the movie, they act like they're running for like student council or something. They have like flag pennants they're handing out, posters and flyers and like all over the place. They're really advocating. There's like a picture with all of like the prom candidates on the wall. They're campaigning for this. Where like in my mind, I thought prom queen was just something you kind of just voted on at the dance. I don't even think I did that when I went to prom. Derek, did you go to prom?
No, my prom, instead of going to prom, me and Emily, who's now my lady wife,
love to see it.
We skipped it and went to the first Hunger Games movie. And if you want to do the math on how old I am, you can now.
No. We can't dox you that much in one episode.
That's true.
We know your dad. It was R.L. Stein.
Sure. Yeah, it was the first Hunger Games.
That's crazy.
My God, I'm such an old man. I'm gonna die next year.
But anyway, my ask to you, the audience, and like you can just shout this into the void with whatever you're doing right now.
Void.
Was prom ever actually this important to anyone, or is this just a trope that exists in like movies from the 80s?
I swear it was just a trope from the 80s specifically.
Yeah. Because goddamn, do they feel like this is like the thing that is going to make or break their entire lives? Specifically for our main character of Lori, she really needs this because there's this whole plot line going on where she's kind of bullied and outcast in school because there's some history of the past where apparently her mom, everyone suspects that she killed her dad, but like she got off as innocent from that. So like she didn't get arrested for it, but everyone hates her because her mom killed her dad.
Which is so
supposedly
weird. And then we found out it happened like a long time ago.
Yeah, that plot never really made much sense to me.
No.
But everyone's talking to her about her name's Lori Granger. They're like, the Granger name is tainted because you're family of murderers
and you know
or something like
what
that.
A real missed opportunity was?
Everything?
Well, yeah. But they should have been like, Granger danger.
Yeah, that would have been... Yeah, you know what? That would have been so much better because like I mentioned, they have a wall that is a picture of the prom candidates on it. There's one moment where they write like psycho over hers. They scratch it out. Then they write like bitch underneath it. It would have been so much better if they wrote Granger danger. It would have
like
been so much
danger?
Cooler. Yeah, absolutely.
Stupid.
You're really cooking with that one.
Thank you. It is pasta. I Googled beauty pageants from like the 80s, and apparently they were. Oh, Google's listening to me. Oh, apparently they were closer to what we saw then which is like what we saw in this movie,
where it was
they did
much
have
bigger
like
deal.
Yeah, it was a huge deal. They did have like campaigns and stuff, and they were voted on by their peers. I don't think that was everywhere though.
Yeah.
At least nowhere I've heard of stories about.
No, exactly.
But that was definitely like 40 years ago.
But they're really acting like this is the event that is going to change the trajectory of their lives forever. They would kill for it. Wink. But it's just like so this girl, the main girl Lori, kind of struggles with the fact that she's kind of an outcast because of the history with her mom, I guess. And so for some reason, I don't even know how they came to be the candidates for Prom Queen. I don't even know how that was elected.
No.
But so we just spend a lot of time with all these girls making a big deal about Prom Queen. Oh, everybody wants to be the Prom Queen, blah, blah.
Honestly, you guys, this takes so long.
It's like
it was
so
like a
fast,
good 40 minutes
but
of the
it takes
movie.
so long at the same time because it moves through so much information so fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically it's just like, there's the main girl Lori, there's the like quote unquote mean girl of the story whose name is Tiffany, I think.
Something. She had a sick ass last name.
I think it's Tiffany Falconer.
Falconer.
Yeah, Tiffany Falconer. And she's got What's up? She's got a gang called the Wolfpack.
No, I know. It's
you think she's a part of the Lunar Hygienics?
Oh, she definitely is. No, so if you look at Wikipedia and all the characters, there are so many confusing characters in this show. They all have a subtitle. So you have Lori Granger, main character, right?
Okay.
And then you have Megan Rogers, Lori's best friend.
Okay.
Tiffany Falconer, Lori's rival.
Ooh.
Dan Falconer, Tiffany's father, and a teacher. It was the same guy.
What the fuck?
It was the same guy.
We were losing our mind thinking that like the dad and the teacher looked so goddamn similar. It's the same dude. Goddamn.
Sorry, I didn't notice until right now.
Yeah.
Tyler, Tiffany's boyfriend. Anyway, you get the point. There's a huge list.
Everyone
of
has a subtitles, but there's so many. And the problem with when you do this, when you cram, especially an hour and a half movie, when you cram it with so many people that you want to be important, you can't give any of them enough time and substance in what they do to actually matter, even a little bit. Even the main character.
I feel like they had so much money, and they accidentally gave all of their extras lines. So they're like, whatever, just pay him the full price and make him a full character.
God, it just wasn't worth it. But yeah,
I mean, normally on like a cast list, they don't show all of their characters with names, right? Normally it's like 6 to 10, like I would say is normal. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You have 18 characters just named right here that all had parts in this movie.
That's insane, and so little of them actually mattered.
18.
Yeah.
That's so many.
But so we've got this plot happening where everyone is so hung up on this prom thing happening. And then just kind of in the midst of this, we start seeing this like this person like a red raincoat in this kind of like obscured mask just start killing people.
It was kind of a really generic.
Yeah, nothing like I hadn't really seen anything like this before, except maybe like the raincoat kind of reminds me of like I Know What You Did Last Summer, I think is the movie I'm
maybe
thinking
that's
of.
why I'm thinking of it. I don't know. To me, it didn't scream new.
No.
Though. It wasn't like, there wasn't anything I guess
it
you're
wasn't
right.
like fresh, like it felt derivative of something, but like I can't put my finger on
like
exactly what it is.
Memory
yeah,
of
exactly. It wasn't that great though. As far as killer designs go, I was like, it's just
boring.
a person in a red robe, trench coat thing, and a mask, and they kill people, But so one by one, they start taking out the candidates for Prom Queen, right?
Yeah.
And that's who's being killed off in this movie, as far as we can tell. And so all of that's happening. Prom night comes around, and like the shit kind of starts hitting the fan. More people start getting killed off. The kills really are the highlight of this movie. They're like the one good thing about it. That and the music.
Even then, I don't know. I was not that impressed.
No,
there
were only a few that I would really call out that were really good. Like for instance, there was one a direct instance of characters we've never seen, never talked before. Suddenly they're sharing the screen with each other. It's this one couple. They're sneaking off to go make out or something.
I know what you're talking about.
And then the girl walks away for a second, comes back. She's got her gut spilling out of her belly, all of a sudden, spilling out of her stomach. And then the killer, the one in the red raincoat, comes and attacks the man, and he pins him down on a desk in like a classroom and cuts off both of his hands with one of those like paper cutter.
Yeah, it's like a poster cutter.
Yeah, with those big blades that you just slam downwards. And it was honestly kind of comedic the way it happened.
Hilarious.
Especially since he kind of, I don't know, the guy playing the dude who got his hands hands cut off was absolutely not reacting how you probably would.
Oh, he was bad.
No, because he gets one hand cut off. He's kind of screaming, and then like he pins him down, cuts the other one off. Then he goes over to the door and tries to open the handle with his bloody little stumps. Okay, I did like that.
The
that was really
stumps
fun.
Trying to open the door was really.
It was pretty good. But that was one.
We're
of the,
also psychos.
That was one of the more fun kills, I would say. There were some other ones. Like another thing that Emily had kind of pointed out that is a little bothersome, but Derek had noticed and kind of made a point about is the fact that almost none of the kills were done with the same weapon twice.
Yeah.
It's like they were all done with a different weapon each time.
But
axes and paper cutters, electrical units sometimes, blade saws other times. Like, it's all over the place.
We did get 3 distinct weapons, though. We got a butcher cleaver that came up a lot. We got an axe that came up a lot. And then we get a chef's knife a little bit later. So those are worth noting.
Yeah, exactly. It's like if there was a signature weapon, we're talking those are probably the main ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was kind of weird that like every single kill that went through like was kind of a different method and kill, which I guess, props for creativity and doing a lot of stuff. But I don't know, there's something iconic about a killer, especially a slasher killer that like has their main weapon, right?
And I mean,
you watch Slumber Party Massacre, you want to see that phallic screw thing, like whatever that is.
A drill?
The drill, that's what it was. But listen, the poster for Sleep Slumber Party Massacre.
Hello,
he's holding it between his legs like it's a dick. Like you cannot tell me it's not phallic.
Deep it. I need a phallic. What did you call it?
Your finest phallic spiral thing. I forgot it was a drill. I forgot what a drill was.
You've built things.
Never have
You're
I
like
ever.
one of the proppy guys.
And I use the phallic drill thing every time, or the phallic spiral thing.
Doctor, I need you to hand me the phallic swirly thing. Quick.
Scalpel, syringe, phallic spiral thing. We're losing him, Doctor.
I don't know what you mean. Do you mean the drill? No.
I don't know what that is. Fuck you. In English, please. But
phallic means penis.
Phallic means penis. But so there's something to be said about having a killer have an iconic weapon, Yeah. I can appreciate when they get creative with their environment if their weapon is not on hand. Like I feel like Jason Voorhees does a lot of that, right? But we all know him to be the guy with the machete, right? Like that's the iconic
He
weapon.
will at least kill one person with a machete in every movie.
Exactly. But so this one they kind of just kept throwing it all around all over the place. There were lots of different kills that had
it felt very
different
disjointed.
things.
And I feel like it was purposeful. It kind of felt like there were like 20 people doing these kills.
Yeah, all over
and
the
actually
place.
at one point when we were watching it, that was a theory I threw out there that there was like a group of people that had created a cult.
Yeah,
to
like a
kill
cult of
everyone
these killers.
on
Some
prom.
Yes, exactly.
Kind of wish that one was the one.
Yeah, I kind of wish so too because like how did you feel about what the reveal ended up being? I
hated it.
I was left unsatisfied. Was there a red herring in this one?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
there was a lot of Mr. Janitor.
Mr. Janitor.
Aww.
The entire time we keep getting all these random shots, like very establishing shots of this like, kind of dirty looking janitor type who's just like honestly cleaning the school, just doing his damn job. But like he looks like he could be a shady character pretty easily if you paint him in that light.
It was definitely a red herring though.
Yes, like, and that's they wanted you to think that. And so immediately I'm like, no, it's not him.
Yeah. What else do we even talk about, dude?
It's tough. It's hard because there is so little substance to this movie. Yeah. Like, honestly.
The movie felt like a trailer for itself.
Yes.
Everything was jumping around
the way
so
it was
much.
edited and, like, goes through things so fast. And, like, I don't know. I feel like, because, a trailer will show you highlights of certain things, but you're missing, like, the substance and meat of the movie, right? Which is kind of the point. And I felt like this movie had no meat.
You know what kind of meat it did have is fish.
Tell me about the fish. Tell me about the fish meat in this movie.
There's a part where, like, right before prom, this girl's getting drugs from her drug dealer.
Yeah.
And I thought that the guy handed her a bag of fish, and she was just sniffing like a little trout.
And he just, like, takes a whiff of the bag.
Yeah.
And so we were making a joke about, like, this is my smelling fish.
Oh, this is my smelling fish. Oh, you got any salmon?
No, I just got carp today.
Oh, I guess I'll take it. My wrist's been hurting. I'll have some carpal tunnel.
Hey, listen.
Get it?
Stupid.
Do you get my joke?
That's dumb.
Do you get my joke?
That's dumb, and I hate it. I hate it so much.
Yeah, dude.
But it's like it's so hard to say where things are going because on the surface, it's kind of just like a tropey movie about like Mean Girls situation where these girls are kind of fighting over who's going to get prom queen. And this one main mean girl's got a couple of lackeys that are underneath her and she wants to be the prom queen. It's the most important thing for her. Like her mom is even helping her kind of set it up. And it's a whole thing. And underneath all of that, people are getting murdered. And just like that seems to be happening kind of separate of the rest of it.
It feels like all these murders are happening. And also another thing about the murders happening is like, we never see the murder weapons before they're used.
Yeah, no, there is no Chekhov. There's no Chekhov. There's absolutely no Chekhoving in this movie.
They looked at the list of things like, I don't want to check off any of these.
I'm not gonna check off any of this stuff. They threw the list behind them. Yeah, no, I get it.
They didn't check off themselves before they wreck off themselves. This is what you gotta do at every
check
movie.
off yourself before you wreck off yourself. The title potential in this episode alone is batshit crazy.
We're gonna have to like write it down.
Yeah, we're just gonna use all of them. All of the titles have our longest running title.
We'll have in the description other potential episode title names.
Yeah, ones that were on the cutting room floor,
like that guy's arms.
Oh my God, yeah. There's a moment where the killer comes through with just like a fireman's axe and is just like lopping body parts off like they're made of butter. It's crazy.
So okay, let's go through the main plot points of the movie.
Yes,
real quick. I mean, because it's hard to establish.
Yeah, I mean we've kind of done the most of that. There's prom, Mean Girls. So one thing that really bothers me is like we're at prom, right? And our main character, you know, she's got this bad past because of her mom murdering her dad. Maybe she did, maybe she didn't, whatever. So she's a little more timid, and the wolf pack of Mean Girls put on a fucking little dance choreographed thing in the middle of prom, like not it doesn't.
Wowzers.
Yeah, wowzers. God, Derek, tell me about the fucking vice principal for a second.
This is like 7 foot tall, 380-pound man,
mostly balding,
is watching all these high school girls dance in these scantily clad outfits, and he says his fucking catchphrase, which is "wowzers."
Because the very first time he says it, he's talking to the other principal, who
that's right. I couldn't remember the first
would
time.
Be a more important character. They kind of establish her as like this devoutly religious principal.
Yeah, they even zoom in on her praying.
Like,
at one
yeah,
point.
exactly. You think she's going to go somewhere? She is almost completely useless to the story.
She is useless.
No, exactly. So she's talking about all these dang kids and their weekend orgies. She says that, and he goes, "Wowzers!" The first time. The second time is when he sees this choreographed dance going on at prom, and he sees these girls dance. He goes, "Wowzers!"
Do you think that's what he's saying when he gets aroused?
It has to be. Absolutely has to be. Comes for sure. Because there's a sequence later where, spoiler alert, he gets a body part lopped off of himself.
Well, I mean, it's his arm.
As he's sitting there bleeding out, he says, "Wowzers!" again.
Because somebody grabs his arm and throws it on the ground.
Oh my God, it's so funny. But at that point, for some reason, it was a welcome sight, and I was laughing my ass off.
Oh, it was so good.
It was funny.
It's because
we love a callback.
Our expectations were so low at this point.
They were in the ground.
By the time the end of the movie was rolling around, and we were at this climatic moment where this killer is like rampaging through the actual prom, and he's lopping off body parts left and right. He beheads a guy like out of nowhere, because you can't have a shitty horror movie without a decapitation.
Well, first of all, this is a wonderful sequence because let's backtrack a little bit, because what is important is we see one of the main friends of the mean girl, like she's kind of important, kind of not. She gets killed not by one but by two different killers. So we've established so we are doing a Scream thing. There are two killers, at least two killers in this movie, right? So then we break away from that. So now we as the audience know there's more than one killer, but one killer enters the prom room floor after the main girl actually wins prom queen, right? We have to get back to what bothered me, because I didn't even get to make that point.
Oh, you're right. I forgot about this.
I'll circle back to that. I'll circle back. But walks into the main dance hall with all of the people there. There's one girl kind of with her back to the killer. He just takes the axe and swings at her leg, just chopping it off like right at the knee.
Nuts.
It was nuts, and the effects were pretty. I enjoyed them a lot.
I mean, they were all really good. They did have some After Effects score.
Yeah, a little bit.
Which I wish they didn't have any, but like, whatever.
Yeah, but comes in, lops this girl's leg off, and then like this guy turns around and he just swing and just takes off his head, one clean stroke. Yeah. And this is also the same sequence where that vice principal Wowzers guy gets his arm chopped off like it's made out of butter, and then he falls to the ground. Someone puts it in front of him. Wowzers, so crazy. What I was gonna say that bothers me is, yes, the main character Lori, she does end up winning prom queen, only after she's feeling down about herself. All these girls do this dance, and she's like, oh, I've lost. It's all lost. My life is over. This is going to be the turning point of my life. There is one sequence where she goes into the bathroom with a couple of friends. They put some fucking eyeliner on her.
Just and a little sparkle.
And that changes her life.
It literally
Suddenly
does.
She's a new girl with all of the confidence she needs to go and win prom queen and win over the hearts of all of these stupid students.
Now listen, man, I was in 8th grade once.
That's not all it takes.
And I was told by a girl that I needed to start spiking my hair and wear DC shoes. And that changed the trajectory of my entire life because I stopped having a comb over. I stopped wearing sneakers.
Is that what you're saying? Eyeliner is the equivalent of your spiked hair and DC shoes? That's crazy.
I don't wear DCs anymore. I wear whatever I wear.
It's just so mind-blowing to me that, like, there are a couple of sequences where Lori is talking to other students and they're talking to her about she's a freak and a weirdo. Nobody likes her.
All
then
she needed to do was wear eyeliner.
She comes back into school, into the dance with eyeliner, and everyone's like, oh my God, Lori, we love Lori. Well, also, there's a
4-minute dance
sequence. And they're awful at it.
Dude.
God, I've never been so cringed out by watching two white women dance horribly.
I feel like Netflix producers were sitting there and they're like, "Hey, remember in Wednesday?" Because they're all not American. Remember in Wednesday when Wednesday did that dance that Wednesday did that became viral on the TikTok? Maybe we could replicate that in Fear Street Prom Queen. And the director's like, I don't know if that fits. No. You make them dance.
Yeah. And it's a long dance sequence where
it's 4 minutes.
It's the two of them who are like loudly fighting with each other. So the DJ puts on some music. He's like, hey, we're going to have a dance battle. And then they just start doing it. And the main mean girl is so bad.
They're both very bad. God. They're both very bad.
Jesus.
But listen, I'm not a good dancer.
But I'm
aware of
that being But they make it a point to be like, oh, wow, the mean girl sucks at it. So much so that actually one of her like fans amongst the student body actually unplugs the music. She's like, oh, sorry, I slipped, just to like save her from this embarrassing situation.
So
even her mom kind of like averts her eyes because her mom's at prom for some reason too, by the way. Like,
yeah,
it's
of course.
Fucking stupid.
Didn't your mom go to prom?
So anyway, there's been killings happening. We've established that the main killer goes into the main hall, and then our main girl, Lori, takes off her newly crowned tiara. She just barely won prom queen. Takes it off, stabs dude right in the eyeball through the mask. And we take the mask off. Well, who's underneath the mask?
It's her dad.
It's the dad of the mean girl.
It's the dad of the mean girl.
And we're like...
Because why wouldn't it be?
I'm like, oh, okay, hold... Did we establish
Who was
this
also
man enough?
the teacher.
Why? Why him of all people? And his motivation, his wife looks at him like, why would you do this? He's like, I just knew it was so important to you guys for her to win prom queen. Like, are you fucking, that's the motivation for the killing?
So stupid.
Are you stupid?
And then like everybody freaks out and this entire time, we're just like, okay, so there were two. We knew there were two.
Exactly.
Who was he working
And the movie is kind of trying to wrap it up, be like, oh, well, we got the killer because nobody else knows that there's two.
I guess we're done.
Guess we're done here. Call it a day. And so us as the audience are like, okay, when's this reveal coming up? So like the main girl, Lori, leaves with the mean girl there because they're neighbors. They live across the street from each other. And the mean girl is like, hey, don't leave me alone tonight. It was just a lot. I need a friend. And so we see at their house now, mom comes back home because she had to stay back at the dance with the cops for a second because she was a witness to her husband, like, you know, being outed as a murderer, right?
Yep.
They're both in the house, and then we learn, oh shit, not only is dad a killer, so is mom and Tiffany. We got a family of killers here.
Family of killers.
And so the mom and Tiffany both try to attack Lori and try to kill her. And in this sequence, they establish that it was actually Tiffany's mom who killed her dad way back when, that everyone thinks her mom did. So, like, they've been the reason for her grief pretty much the whole goddamn time, like, since she was a baby.
Can you imagine the type of like home life that they had where her entire life growing up, her mom hated her dad because she was in love with some other guy that she murdered and then was mad at that family the entire life.
And it rubs off so far that the daughter also wants to kill her. But
so they have this plan to murder them on prom night.
Yeah.
Like So it's literally just grooming. That's fucked.
It's crazy. It's wild. It's wild. So, like, to end it pretty quickly, I guess what happens is, like, Laurie starts fighting them off. She kicks at Tiffany. They're at the top of, like, the staircase. She falls through the banister and lands on top of this, like, eagle statue. Its wing, like, punctures straight up through her, which was a pretty wild kill.
Dope.
That was pretty nuts. But then, then it's just kind of this slow burn of the mom kind of, like, not even chasing her, just, like, approaching her throughout the house until eventually Laurie breaks into a trophy case, grabs a trophy, and like bam, whacks her on the head, and then leaves. And then like I think her last line is like "never fuck with the Grangers" or something stupid like that. Like, guys, it was just dumb.
It had the same energy as like I'm Rey Skywalker.
Yeah, honestly, like that level of like, what are we even doing here, guys? What was the point of any of this? Do you think that we've summed up enough of what went down in this movie? Like,
I don't know. I just want to forget about it.
I think that's it, guys. That's really all this movie had to offer.
This is the kind of movie that wasn't bad enough to be fun and wasn't good enough to be fun.
Because there's something about that. That's why we have an entire podcast dedicated to that, right? Where like there's a lot of fun that can be had in watching even like terrible horror movies where like, wow, this is just laughably bad because I can laugh at it, right?
Yeah.
But this one just had so little to offer us. I feel like it was kind of time wasted, honestly.
Absolutely.
Should we talk about our expectation results?
I guess, man.
Yeah, let's get into it. So I said it gives fun 80s tropes but wrong, and I think I was right on with that the whole time throughout.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Every 80s trope in the book, pretty much, honestly.
Yeah.
Like they even had a guy with a huge boombox on his shoulder walking around. That same guy had a little ponytail scrunchie.
Oh yeah.
That was really funny.
Weirdly endearing and kind of cute of him.
I felt like they just put it on him to make him stand out.
Yeah. And you know what? It worked. It was effective. I said there's probably going to be one really good kill, and I'd say the kills were probably the only like really good parts, but I got to say the decapitation is my number one just because how can you not? I love a good decapitation.
I love a good decapitation, and they're always out of nowhere.
Yes, they're always so crazy.
I feel like if I'm ever making a horror movie and I write a shocking decapitation in, I'll know my movie will be a B movie.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, it always happens.
You instantly, like, you graduate to B movie status rather than C movie.
Well, I hope someone sees it. Undeserved kills. All different weapons and really nothing too memorable other than, like, maybe two. There was, like,
what were you pointing about the poster that we had seen?
Oh, I'll talk about that
right
now. The saw cutter thing that he used on that guy's face was kind of cool. The falling off the stairs was cool. Everything else was kind of meh to me, personally. I did like the beheading, though. That one was fun.
Cool. That was cool.
So while we were watching, I was freaking out about the weapons because the weapons all... There were like three distinct weapons. There was a cleaver. Because early at the beginning of the movie, there's like this goth girl who pretends to cut her hand off in the middle of class using like a fake
Big
cleaver.
Old butcher cleaver, but a fake one,
And then I feel like that was just the only reason that happened was to misdirect us into thinking she was a killer because one of the killers uses that to kill a couple people during the movie. And I was making a point that I was like, okay, well, there's three weapons that have been used multiple times. There's a cleaver, there's a axe, and then there's the chef knife. Right? And so I was thinking that it would be cool to have a group of killers that all had distinct weapons, and that's how you could tell them apart. And we were riffing how it was like Ninja Turtles, but like for serial killers. And the reason I was freaking about this poster, there's a poster on Letterboxd that is of the three weapons.
Yeah, it's a direct homage to the trailer, to the poster for the first Nightmare on Elm Street, where there's like the face on the poster, and there's like the claws of Freddy Krueger like looming at the very top of the poster, but this one has the three separate weapons looming over, which I guess kind of gives away the fact that there are three killers in this story.
I'm gonna leave it there.
But sometimes I like that when like knowing after watching the movie you can go back and say, oh, that's what that is.
Oh, it's literally giving it away.
But if I were to just look at this poster, I would not immediately think, oh, okay, well that means there are three killers. Like,
that's true.
It is kind of fun that way.
It is.
My next expectation was annoying characters, just obnoxious and truly forgettable and one-dimensional corny performances. I did not care for any of them.
No, me
not
neither.
any of these characters.
I honestly forgot about all of them already.
Oh, yeah.
Annoying sexual energy, yes?
Yeah, not as much as I was expecting.
No, not really. And it honestly felt like they forgot to add it, and then they were like, oh, wait, throw some skimpy outfit in or something.
Yeah, terrible. I said it was going to feel very long for an hour-and-a-half long movie, and it was weirdly both long and quick at the same time. Somehow, like, things that just fly past you. I'm like, hold on, I need more like time to establish and care about these things. But then also there were certain sequences that were so drawn out that I was like, are we done here, please? So I don't know how it managed those both, but it did.
Killer will be someone incredibly obvious. They intentionally gave us literally nothing to point to the killer.
Nope.
To the point where it was actually annoying. I was right about it being the girl. I kind of had a feeling it was her.
Yeah.
Like when they were riding in the car, I was like, "Oh, I bet she was with her dad." I didn't. I mean, no one could have predicted that being all three of them because they were barely in the movie.
I was talking to Derek at some point through the movie. I was like, the way this movie is running and how things have been established, no matter who the killer is, it is not going to be satisfying. They have not set anything up where like they could pull a fast one on it and be like, whoa, that's who the killer is, or even if it's someone I expected. I'm like, none of these will be satisfying to me.
They even hid the motivation.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if they had sewed in the motivation a little bit better, maybe said, my mom had an affair with him, like, show flashbacks of that or something. Like, give us something to grasp onto, give multiple motivations. That's why things like Clue work so well, is you have a group of people who all have motivation, right? When you have a movie with no motivation other than prom, it just doesn't work. It falls flat.
So on the topic of the killers, my final expectation was multiple killers trope, and I called that shit right from the start.
Yeah, you did.
I don't know how, and that's no prior knowledge. I was complete shot in the dark, but I just got the vibe.
Good.
It just felt like it.
I mean, it did feel like the type of movie to just pull out tropes to try and be good.
Yeah.
Too many characters. Oh my god, dude.
All over the place.
I can't even remember 5.
Like I appreciate a movie that gets a lot of kills, but like who cares?
There was this guy who looked like he was an undercover cop.
He looked like John Candy and
Chris Farley.
Chris Farley like had a baby, and we're also like
I'm
an undercover
going into
cop.
the prom down by the river. This movie killed me. I'm so sorry. Keep going.
A little bit. So surprises?
Yeah.
Surprises. I said the kills were not terrible, yet they were somehow brutal and dull at the same time. Like I don't know how else to describe that, because like the acts of what were happening were brutal, yet somehow watching them, they were not that crazy for me. I don't know. So like I'd say definitely the best were the chopping off the hands, that leg chop, and the decapitation. Those were pretty fun for me.
Were good.
I said it looks pretty good for how bad it was at times. Like it's very apparent that a lot of money went into this. Like as far as like the lighting and like color grading of it, things looked good. Some good cinematography moments, but other than that, like it was a lot of money but no substance. Yeah. And then my last one was just that the music kicked ass. Thank you, Power Glove.
That was good.
Also some other good 80s bangers. You know, you had Sweet Dreams Are Made of This. You know,
Rick
you had
Astley's All I Want
Never
for
Gonna
Christmas
Give
Is
You Up. No, close. Some good music in there. Derek, what were your surprises?
How disjointed the whole thing was. It really did feel like I was having a fever dream of a movie. That it was so freaking forgettable. I mean, a scene would happen and I wouldn't remember what happened in the scene. It was vile. And then the music and the cinematography were pretty good. Some of the kills were good. That's it.
Yeah. Verdict time. I'm going to go with that was horrible.
Oh, yeah.
That's horrible. I felt like I was in some fever dream of the wonders of horror's past. You know, the 80s were a fantastic time for horror, and this movie captured none of that glory. It just made feeble attempts at living in those beloved tropes and gimmicks with too many one-dimensional characters. It failed to bring me in from the start and expected me to follow along without giving me any substance or anything to grab onto, right?
Yep.
So all I can say really is that the kills and the music were pretty great, but this was a far drop from the original Fear Street trilogy. So this prom season, I nominate those movies.
Again, that was horrible as well. Not horrible. Watch the other 3 Fear Streets and skip this one. The kills are mostly boring. Some of them were good, but mostly boring. The characters are all forgettable and flat. The music and maybe 2 kills were really the only redeeming factor. The unbelievable scenarios and the thrown away plot lines really just make for an uneven and boring time. Skip the prom and go see the new Hunger Games instead.
Blay, blay, it is me, Count Trivia. Did you know Earl Stein is my dad?
Haha, you too? You want a shirt?
Father to me.
What if we get them shirts?
Mini shirts for the puppets? God, that would be pretty kick-ass, actually. Can I tell you about my trivia, please?
Yeah, please.
Okay, take your trivia here, then I fly away and go talk to my dad. Count's trivia brings us not actually a lot of trivia. There wasn't a ton to be. There were a lot of trivia bits that were just like just things that happened in the movie. I'm like, that's not really trivia so much as just like a fact about what happened in the run of the whatever. When Megan Rogers, a character in the movie, is smoking in the bathroom, the graffiti on the wall to the left reads, Sarah Fear lives. Sarah Fear is the original witch from 1666 whose death caused the curse on Shadyside, which is the town that all of this takes place in, right? And also, we failed to mention, the very end of the movie, it is Lori who bashes on the mom's head with a trophy, right? She's bleeding out onto the ground. As she's bleeding out, her blood starts to form the symbol of the witch, which is a connection to Fear Street 1666 with like the first witch, Sarah Fear. So like they're trying to connect them, but I kind of just want to be done with Prom Queen and leave it in the dust.
Let's just forget it happened.
I wish it wasn't that way. It was filmed at Westmount Junior High School in Alberta, Canada, which bears a striking resemblance to Delta Secondary School in British Columbia, where Hello, Mary Lou Prom Night 2 was filmed.
Greatest
I
film
do not know what
title
that film
of all
is
time.
at all. You want to look into Hello, Mary Lou Prom Night 2? Because that sounds like a fun time. Author R.L. Stine, my dad, has announced that 3 more Fear Street films are in the works and are all based on his Fear Street book series. So I was excited about that in the past, but after this one, I'm a little more nervous.
Pretty worried.
If we get him in better hands, I think maybe we can do okay, because we've seen it do well, but this one not so much.
No.
And then it says it pays homage to two popular American teen horror franchises. There are 2 identical masked killers like Scream, and then the murderers wear oilskin fishermen's coats like I Know What You Did Last Summer. So again, it's kind of a pull. It's not necessarily trivia, but it's basically all I got for you. What's this Mary Lou Prom Night 2 movie?
It's the sequel to Prom Night. It was a Canadian film in 1987. It's actually sitting at about a 60% on Rotten Tomatoes. Looks kind of good.
It's interesting to have...
Mary Lou is the killer of the second movie.
Interesting.
And she returns in the third movie, The Last Kiss.
It's kind of a fun idea to be like, okay, here's our movie Prom Night. And the sequel is called Hello, Mary Lou Prom Night 2.
Oh,
like,
it's
just
so good.
The rhyming convention, I'm down with that.
I will watch this movie just for
That's actually pretty kick-ass. But that is all we got to cover Prom Night, Fear Street Prom Queen.
It does look like Jamie Lee Curtis was in the original.
Oh, shit. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It does look like this character was just created as the rhyme.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like Mary Lou was not in the first
I would
one.
expect nothing less, and I love it for that.
I also love that.
So we jumped ahead a week. We're sorry.
Please forgive us.
We didn't watch The Bat. So next week our movie will be watching The Bat from 1959. 17% on Rotten Tomatoes, starring Vincent Price in Gotham.
In Gotham.
So yes, join us next time.
Let's see why Garfield dies in Gotham.
Let's see why and how, in the many strange ways Vincent Price will kill off Garfield. But yeah, I think that pretty much does us for
Garfield.
Fear Street Prom Queen. There's not much to say there. So yeah, let's
There wasn't much to say to begin with.
There wasn't a lot. Yeah, it wasn't a lot. So, I think we got some good stuff out of it. But we've got one more thing for you before we send you on your way. We've got a Garfield horror scope for this week here. We have a comic strip here, several panels long, where basically the gist of it is Odie makes a mess with his own spit and then cleans it up with paper towels and kind of makes a big show of it. And then Garfield says, Odie is now sponsored by a paper towel company. Derek, who are you?
100%.
You're Odie?
I Odie.
I'm the spit on the ground.
All right, let me just tell you about Odie real quick. So he drools on the ground, right, and then he wipes it up with paper towels, and he looks so proud.
Yeah.
And let me tell you guys, if you make a mistake, if you do something wrong, own it. Stand up, wipe it up, put a grin on your face. You don't have to smile necessarily, but just be proud that you made a mistake, because now you can learn from it. Now you can be better, and we can turn it around, and all of a sudden he's sponsored by a paper towel company, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful redemption story.
Yep. For me, I'm going to say go out there. Like, we're going to get weird with this. Get out there, make a mess. Be a mess out in your life. Sometimes we need messy periods in our lives.
Well,
it helps balance out, the more clean moments of our lives, I guess.
What a sentence, man.
But go out there, be loud, be proud. Happy Pride, by the way. Don't keep yourself in the mouth of the dog that is life. Get out there. Get out there is what I say.
What's happening right now? Isaac's lost it.
It's over.
This movie killed me. It's all over. It's all ogre now.
Thank you so much. If you enjoyed what you see here, come find us on all of our social medias. We are on Instagram at _was_horrible, Twitter at TWH Podcast, Facebook at That Was Horrible Podcast, YouTube at That Was Horrible, TikTok at That Was Horrible as well. Now remember, tell your wife, tell your dog, tell your doctor that father to me, doctor to some. That's my dad.
R.L. Stein. Hey, Garfield be with you. Stay spooky.
Goodbye.